Hey YouTube, JGreen302. Calling this one Solar 2. Shit hits the fan. Power grid's down. Bad scenario. A little bit of light in the darkness can make all the difference in the world. You can run candles, you can run Coleman lanterns, you can do all this stuff. That's fine. I'm going to turn you on to an idea that I worked on about 2 years ago that may actually be very valuable under these conditions. Requires that you know a little bit about your home electrical system. You need to know how your circuit panel works, and I don't mean by, well, this switch makes that room go dark. I mean a little bit more than that. But let me tell you something that might be a real gem that I haven't heard anybody mention. One, you should have your circuit breakers labeled very well. So here's a scenario. You find yourself when the shit hits the fan. The electric's out, and you know it's going to be out for a while. Quite a while, as in a couple of months. I mean, you know, society's you just have to know that it's going there. So what you can do as a real nice convenience is get yourself some of these. This is a 15 watt LED bulb, and it's rated at 1.5 watts. Having LED bulbs in general is never a bad idea. Having some of the lower ones, which happen to be cheaper, having 6 or 8 of these bad boys is definitely worth their weight in gold if you collect a little bit more equipment. And I'll tell you how this could be very, very helpful because the electric's out. So here's the idea. If you're spending all this money on shit hits the fan prepping, they have low buck solar panels out there and $30 charge regulators. So for, I don't know, call it $80 a panel, get two $80 panels, a $30 charge regulator. Go collect yourself about, I don't know, it depends on what you're comfortable with, 3 or 4 batteries. Wire them up, I believe, in series so that it's a strong 12 volts. Get yourself a battery tender, the little junior battery tender, because they're all wired up. You can clip to the hot side, you can clip to the negative, and you can leave it plugged in, and this will keep those batteries fully charged so that when you need them, they're ready to go. You can keep the panels and the charge regulator sitting in a box somewhere. It's not important until it's time to put them up, because just two in a hokey hodgepodge system just may not be, you know, appropriate. Get yourself a power inverter that has the clips to the battery. And what you now have is the ability to energize your electric system with enough to run 6 or 8 of these. And all of a sudden, all your light switches work for your lighting. There are some caveats to this concept. And I'm going to walk through some of the basics here. If the shit hit the fan scenario does hit, you're going to want to, in order to do this trick, you're going to want to get most of your equipment unplugged. So you're going to walk around and you're going to make sure all your outlets are unplugged. If you have a stove, if you have electric stove or a range, if you have a refrigerator and a freezer, you're just going to have to go through and eliminate those. Now, one other thing you can do is if you have your circuit breakers well labeled to where you can identify hallway, room 1, room 2, room 3, kitchen lighting, where you can specifically know that it's not heating and air conditioning stuff, it's not high draw stuff. You can just pull the breakers out for the high draw stuff, so that what it is, and basically anything over 20 amps, pull it out and just set it right next to your circuit breaker. So now you basically only have circuit breakers for your rooms and your hallway lighting and things like that. Pop your bulbs in, and then what you can do is in the back you can energize, or if you're smart you can just get a bypass panel, but you energize it, and you can probably run, I think I did the math on these, I could run these for almost 6 days if I did it very carefully on a single car battery. So if you had 3 or 4, you could actually run 50 or 60 watt equivalent light bulbs. And if you shut them off after you're done in each room, 4 batteries, 2 solar panels, a $30 charge regulator, you've got lights. Don't want to quite go all that way? No problem. 2 solar panels, charge regulator, a couple car batteries, an inverter, and some extension cords. A couple of lights, standard little lights, and have extension cords laid out and just plug them in where you need them. So there's a couple of, you can do it a couple of ways. The point is that with 2 cheap solar panels and a cheap charge regulator, you can keep 4 car batteries charged. There is your storage of electricity. With 1 power inverter, you can run a lot of lighting in your house off these bulbs for quite a substantial amount of time. There's no flame, there's no batteries, double A's or triple A's. And now you have a renewable lighting system that is low wattage, will not overdrive the equipment, will not constantly be draining the batteries till their life expectancy goes down. You're not deep cycling those batteries because you're not pulling a lot of watts. And if used carefully, even if it's 3 days of storms, your lighting still works. This is an incredibly good idea. And the battery tender, and having those batteries sitting there with the battery tender always keeping them in full condition at all times, so that when the lights go out, the batteries stay charged. You can immediately use these, and you've got days to get the panels and the charge regulator up as part of getting this system running. Let's face it, we're talking, some of these bulbs may be $15 a pop, so you figure however many you want. $30 charge regulator, 2 solar panels at $80 a pop, and a power inverter. And with this gear, you can keep the lights on in the middle of the night, possibly for years. Only works as long as there's not an EMP blast. But still a good idea. Thought I'd share this. Think about it. Hope you enjoyed it.